If you're interested in bagging yourself an Honor branded smartphone in 2019, chances are you're more confused right now than a Love Island finalist at the annual Astrophysics conference. I mean, we absolutely love Huawei's kooky sub-brand to bits, but Honor has the awkward habit of releasing a new smartphone every couple of weeks pretty much. We've already had 2 new handsets launched in the UK in 2019, and it's not even the end of bloody January yet. So yes, there is a lot to choose between, but fear ye not, because I've personally tested and reviewed all of the Honor smartphones that have launched here in the UK, and I'm here to help you decide which one might be best for you for your particular needs and budget. And don't forget, for more on the latest greatest Honor phones and every other bit of mobile tech that hits the UK, to poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Honor View 20. Where else could we possibly start than with the shiny new View 20 flagship phone? The Honor V20 is the most expensive of the range, but it's also a serious rival to other affordable flagships like the OnePlus 6T. This is a premium handset through and through for the most demanding of users, packing Huawei's new Kirin 980 chipset for blistering performance. Combined with GPU Turbo 2.0, you can expect silky smooth frame rates on the likes of PUBG Mobile, with nary a stutter in sight. Despite all that power, the View 20's huge 4000 mAh battery can keep you going for a couple of days between charges, while there's even a spot of liquid coolant to keep things from getting too toasty during intense use. Of course, one of the most distinctive features of the V20 is definitely that eyebrow lifting design. For once, there's zero notch action here, with the front camera instead tidied away into a corner, and the result is a display that seems to completely fill that front panel, which is definitely awesome for enjoying movies or shows on the go. Flip around to the back and the hotness continues, with a patterned glass surfacing that is truly hypnotizing. And that's also where you'll find the rather bloody good 48 megapixel rear camera, which we're definitely impressed by, especially when it comes to those low light and high contrast shots. Our full camera review and in-depth View 20 review are going live January 22nd, so check back then for our in-depth thoughts. Honor 10. I'm definitely also still a massive fan of the Honor 10, which is fast approaching its first birthday. This was one of Honor's big flagship phones of 2018, boasting some solid hardware all slapped inside a gorgeous glass and metal frame. Seriously, the Honor 10 is one of the best looking mid-rangers of recent times thanks to its funky disco style surfacing. This is where that V20 design originated. It'll definitely turn heads on the tube, or maybe just blind people with its super reflective finish. And this phone actually feels quite compact these days as well, with so many smartphones hitting well above the 6-inch mark. Performance is still a winner thanks to the capable, if a little bit older, Kirin 970 chipset, while the 3400 mAh battery gives over a day of heavy use between charges. Media fans will love the crisp 5.8-inch display, and you get a generous 128 gigs of storage for downloading plenty of flicks and shows for that commute. That dual lens rear camera still does the job as well, with 24 and 16 megapixel lenses combining to capture impressive levels of detail. Sadly, Huawei's new night mode isn't on board here, so low light shots aren't quite as nice as those taken on the View 20 or some of Honor's other more recent mobiles, which we'll come to in a bit. Honor Play. Though the Honor Play is technically targeted at gamers, we reckon anyone who's got fairly demanding needs but a budget of under £300 will still be satisfied. A lot of the specs mirror the Honor 10, with the Kirin 970 chipset once again stuffed inside and backed by 4 gigs of RAM. Games run perfectly as you'd expect, especially the likes of PUBG thanks to that GPU Turbo support. Truth be told, there's not actually that many decent unique gaming features packed in here anyway. Even that slightly pointless rumble feature, which is supported by a handful of games like PUBG Mobile, is now rolling out to other Honor phones as well. That said, the mighty 6.3-inch display is a great way to take in games on the go. We're talking sharp, punchy visuals, serving up a clear view of any battlefield. The fact that it's larger means the Play is less easy to handle than the Honor 10 of course, but as usual you do get Emotion UI's excellent one-handed mode to help out. And that growth also means that you get a bigger battery. The 3750 mAh cell gives well over a day of use between charges and can survive several hours of non-stop gaming. When it comes to the camera tech, the Honor Play is a small step down from the Honor 10. The secondary lens on that rear camera is a basic depth sensor, so shots are less detailed, although your portrait photos will still look rather snazzy. And Huawei's AI mode is once again on board, and you can record up to 4K resolution video, although the new night photo mode is again missing in action. Honor 8X. One of our favourite affordable Honor phones right now is definitely the Honor 8X. This bad boy costs under £250 here in the UK and yet still delivers a really seriously impressive package. Be warned however, this is an absolute behemoth of a smartphone. Even with those skinny bezels, the 6.5-inch Honor 8X is a beast and a half. But that enormous Full HD Plus display is definitely a great way to take in some Netflix on the move. Performance is a bit more limited than the other Honors that we've already mentioned, which is no real surprise given that crazy price. But the Kirin 710 chipset is still perfectly fine for everyday use. And the good news is you get the latest Emotion UI 9 and Android Pie software, which is still rolling out to the likes of the Honor 10 and the Honor Play at the time of shooting. We're really impressed with the 8X's camera tech too. Like the Honor Play, you get a dual lens snapper with a depth sensor for those portrait shots. But unlike the Play, you do also get that excellent new night mode on top of the usual AI smarts for great low light results. Sadly, you can't shoot 4K video, but hey ho, what do you expect, the moon on a stick? And as it's a bit of a big bugger, the 8X also packs in a 3750 mAh battery, so you'll normally only have to charge it up once every couple of days or so. Honor 10 Lite. For a little bit less than the Honor 8X, you can also grab the new Honor 10 Lite, which truth be told isn't massively different. Specs wise, this is only a minor step down from the 8X, with the same Kirin 710 chipset backed by just 3GB of RAM instead of 4. You'll certainly see the odd stammer here and there, but it's nothing to be concerned with. Even the likes of PUBG play fine as long as you stick them on slightly lower detail settings. And while the 3400 mAh battery is smaller than the Honor Play and the 8X's, we still managed to get roughly the same life from each charge. That software is once again bang up to date with the MIUI 9 and Android Pie already on board. However, there is no one-handed mode here for some reason, despite the fact that the Honor 10 Lite is still a sizable 6.2 inches. Grrr. Impressively, the Honor 10's awesome light bending design is back in action here, which is pretty great considering the £200 asking price. However, we did find that this phone scratched up a storm, so you'll definitely want to make use of the bundled transparent cover. And the 13 megapixel rear camera is absolutely fine for everyday shots, if not quite as impressive as the more expensive handsets here. But the good news is you do get that night mode for brighter, clearer, low light photos. It doesn't work as well as it does with the more premium handsets here, but it's still solid. Now, if you're totally skint at the moment, you might even be tempted by the even cheaper Honor 7S, which costs just £100 here in the UK, but fair warning, it is sketchy when it comes to the performance. A basic MediaTek chipset runs the show, which means that you'll see lots of stutters and stumbles no matter what you're up to. This is very frustrating, especially considering that the rest of the phone is actually pretty damn good for that price. So that right there is my rundown of the various Honor smartphones that are available in 2019, which one might be best for you. Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you've got any more questions, comments, theories on life and general existence, always good to hear from you guys. And don't forget to poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest mobile tech. Cheers! I bet you thought I was going to drop all these f***s, didn't you?